G'day, welcome to another episode of Country Life on the Coast. My name is Sean. In today's episode, we're going to build ourselves a rustic clock. So a while ago, I picked up a heap of this timber that is old fencing material. So these are fence palings. It's old hardwood material. I don't know how old it is, but been around for a very long time. So I've cleaned this one up, but there's a few more that I need to clean up. I'm going to pass them through my thicknesser, clean off all the rough bits off it, and then we'll cut them out and we'll make a decent size clock. Well, we've now planed everything down. So I've roughly marked out a circle, the size I'm going to make them, just to make sure I've got enough timber and it's all right to go. You might be able to just make out the pencil line. So I've roughly marked out where the circle is going to be. So we'll just cut the timbers down more to size and go from there. Well, we have everything cut out, and what I'm going to do is just use these couple of pieces of timber and we'll glue and screw all of this down. A couple of smaller ones for the end piece for where we cut this little bit out. That will go up there. Another one for up this side as well. So we'll glue all that. Now this side is the side that I like the look of. So we'll flip everything over and then we'll glue and screw all these down. So there we have it. I'm going to let the glue dry overnight and then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll continue on. Well, we have everything glued together now. We've given it a few days and it's all nice and solid. So now it's time to cut the circle out. And I'm going to use my Ryobi router to do that. Now, I've tried this before doing circles and it does work, just not as easy as I would have liked. So what we're going to do though is we'll drill a hole in the center. We'll bolt this down through the center and then the bar that will connect to the router can just push into here and that will give me my guide to cut the circle out. So we'll just measure this up, get this installed, we'll drill a hole and then we'll get cutting. So there we go, that worked quite well. Just learning how the best way to use the router on this, but overall it came out really well. And then we'll give it all a good sand and we'll go from there. So it's looking really good. So we've sanded it and sanded it and sanded it, sprayed it with some water, it gets the grain to stand up, and then you can sand it some more just to smooth it out. So I think it's looking really good. I also drilled the hole. You saw me trying to fit that clock mechanism in. So what we had to do is just use the router to basically just sink that in a little bit, I just need a little bit more sticking out the front here. So we've got that all done. So next thing we need to do is just to use the router again with a round over bit on the edge, just to smooth that out. So we'll do that now and make this look really good. We ran out of time yesterday, but we're back at it today. And so now what we're going to do is put a coat of polyurethane on this. So I've got some in a container here. So we'll put this on. We've got a couple of coats of polyurethane on this. So now it's time to put it all together. Now the clock mechanism, it comes with a bracket that will aid in hanging it, but just because of the weight of this, it is all hardwood, so it's a bit heavier than your normal clock will be. I'm not going to use that. I'm going to bend up my own wire support for it. So sit that on a rag just so we don't scratch the surface of it. And what I'll do is I'll bend up some wire and then we'll drill a couple of holes in here so we can just hang it off a hook easily off this. So I just have some wire here, and what we can do is just bend it around. Just a small screwdriver will do. So all we did was we've wrapped the wire around and then back on itself, and that's never going to come undone, not by the weight of this anyway. So all we need to do is work out how much length we need, and then we'll trim all this down and make it look neater later. So now we have that bent up, what we'll do is just put a bend in the middle so that when you hang the clock will basically center itself. That way you just need one screw in a wall. It just puts a little bend on like that. Now we can just drill a couple of holes, put the screws in. So the next thing we're going to do is put the clock together. So we have the clock mechanism. We have this little bag of washer, a rubber washer, and a nut. So we'll just put the rubber washer on. We'll slide this hopefully through here. There we go. A little washer on and our nut. You don't want it overly tight, but just enough to hold it, keep it all secure. So this kit I bought, it came with two sets of hands, obviously black ones and also brown. Well, I'm going to use the black ones, just they'll stand out, give a bit of contrast onto this. There's a little nut on top here that we need to take off, and then our hand just pushes on, just gently, but and then the minute hand, it's actually got a thread on it, so you need to just screw it on without cross threading it. There we go. Look, it's looking good. Now the final thing to do is to put numbers on the clock. Now when I ordered these, or when I ordered the clock mechanism, it didn't come with any numbers. So I ordered this off Amazon as well. And they're a bit smaller than what I was probably hoping they would be. I'm not sure if that was me not reading the description correctly, or it just not being on there and me sort of guessing what the size was. But anyway, so there's no double-sided tape or anything on any of these, so we're going to have to glue these down. So I'll set myself up, set all the numbers up first, and then we'll start gluing everything down. So we've laid out all our numbers now, we're ready to glue them down. What I did was just did the 12, 6, 9 and 3 because I knew where they had to go, and then I laid out all the other numbers so it sort of looked right, and then I was able to just use my square that has angles on it as well, sit that there, and that would give me my 30 and 60, and then just move that around each side, and that way all my numbers are now in the right spot. So if you do it yourself and just look at it and get the spacings pretty even, then you're going to be very close anyway, which is what I started off, and I just had to move a couple of them just a little bit before I actually measured it. So I'll grab my super glue, we'll glue this numbers down, and now it's just a case of being careful as we glue it down, or as we pull a number up to glue it down, just taking note of where they are so that we put it back in the right spot. Well, this is it. It's all finished. It's all glued down and ready to be given as a gift. So, really happy with it. Quite a simple project, but just takes a bit of time. But overall, I think it's come up really good. Well, that's all we have for this episode. So thank you so much for watching. Hey, please hit that like and subscribe button. That would be fantastic. And we'll catch you on the next one. God bless.